Hey guys, it's masatonic. I'm Bilingual Harukist. 皆さん、こんにちは。Bilingual Harukist の masatonic です。Haruki Murakami book guide short story 18 Blind Willow Sleeping Woman. So in this video, I'd like to talk about this quite famous Haruki Murakami's short story, Blind Willow Sleeping Woman. By the way, did you know that this short story episode featured or included in Norwegian Wood, another Haruki Murakami's one of most famous and popular work? And if you know that you're great, you could be a Harukist like me. And anyway, if you don't know about it, don't worry. It's you don't have to know about the story of Norwegian and or a bit before reading this interesting short novel. I'll explain it later. And also, this short story has a kind of complicated, a revised history by Haruki Murakami himself. And I'll talk about it later. But still, it's a great short story and quite famous because this is a title work for Haruki Murakami's collection of short story, Blind Willow Sleeping Woman, same title. So let's jump in. As always, this video consists of 3 parts. First, overview, and second, story, and third, deep reading or reading tips from me. So let's get started. First, overview. And this work firstly appeared in Bungakukai in Japan. This is a literary magazine in 1983 December. And interestingly, reappeared in the same magazine in 1995 November. Perhaps it slightly it was changed or revised. And all right, let's get back to the first one. And they're contained in collection of short story in Japan. This is the Japanese original. Firefly, Burn Burning, and the other short stories. This is the title of short collection of short stories, quite a long title. It's a separate, a different title. Firefly in Japanese Hotaru, and Burn Burning in Japanese納屋を焼く. This is a model for a Korean movie Burning, and other short stories. And the other short stories, including this one, a Blind Willow and Sleeping Woman. And this book had published in 1984, July. And after that, 1 year later, Haruki Murakami himself read aloud at a charity event in Kobe in 1995. 1995 is a very important year of Haruki Murakami and also Japanese, we Japanese ourselves, because in 1995, it hit the huge earthquake in Kobe. It's before a Japanese earthquake in the 2011, but before the Kobe earthquake is very good, how to say, big incident. And also some religious group armed did a gas attack before the earthquake. So this year, 1995, had a huge impact on Japanese society and also Haruki Murakami himself. And he wrote about both of them, the earthquake, his thoughts on earthquake turned into a novel. And this is, it was called in English, Afterquake, collection of short story. And his, how to say, his interest in the arms, a religious motive. He had a nonfiction writing. It's called a Underground. So this event is very epoch-making event. And then he did a charity event because Kobe is Haruki Murakami's born place. So with huge earthquake, in a way we could say Haruki half lost his born place. So, and as a charity, he did a charity event, he did read aloud this title, Blind Willow and Sleeping Woman. And with this, at first, he just read aloud the maybe first version of the work. And then it's not a short, it's a short story, but still it's got about 80 pages in Japanese, and he did it. But he thinks it's too long, and actually this charity event has a 2 days event, and the second day, on the midnight of the first day, he revised from 80 pages about to 40 or 50 pages, he revised and resized it. And he did also very meaningful change of the few parts of it, especially ending part, he changed. And the second day, he read aloud such a revised version. And that revised version contained in the Lexington Ghost here, and published in 1996, November, Lexington Ghost. Unfortunately, both a Firefly, blah, 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 and Lexington Ghost, as this same format, it's not published in the English market, but a majority of works is translated and published as a Blind Widow, Sleeping Woman, and also The Elephant Vanishes, both of a collection of short stories. But anyway, so revised and containing Lexington Ghost. Then maybe this revised version is Haruki Murakami's revised and read aloud version in 1995, and ending it changed. The how changed I will mention in the second chapter of this video. And English version is contained in the Blind Widow, Sleeping Woman. Yeah, this is a collection of short stories in the title work of this book, and published in 2006 and August. So I assume a majority of you watching this video are English, lived in English speaking world or country or region. So maybe you can read English one in this format, Blind Widow, Sleeping Woman. So, and you might wonder which version is based on to translation. So, and then actually I checked, and then English version is based on this revised version, Blind Widow, Sleeping Woman. And actually in Japanese edition, its title is slightly changed. Blind Widow, Sleeping Woman in the Japanese original title is Mekura Yanagi to Nemuru Onna. First one is literally the Mekura Yanagi to Nemuru Onna, and the revised version is Mekura Yanagi to Ten Nemuru Onna. So ten means kind of a camera. So title is slightly changed, but and the story itself is basically same, but some detail and or nuance is greatly changed, especially last point. So let's move to the story. So this is a story. It's basically a very simple story. A narrator protagonist is I. It's like ordinary Haruki Murakami is a protagonist, 25 years old, and this narrator returned to his hometown. It seems to be Kobe. In novels, it directly didn't mentioned as Kobe, but it perhaps Kobe, and at least Kobe is a model for his hometown. And then go to hospital on Hilltop by bus, where is his 14 years old cousin. It's a present of the novel. And during his visit, he remembering high school days, and when he was a high school student, grade 2, and he had a friend, and the friend has a friend's girlfriend, and the friend girlfriend in the hospital, and the friend and the narrator went to the hospital to visit his girlfriend, and then remembering this visiting. So and finally waiting for bus to return. That's a story, and this how to say visiting of friend's girlfriend event is featured in Norwegian Wood. Actually, this triangle relationship is a feature. This relationship featured also a Norwegian Wood. So if you didn't read Norwegian Wood, sorry, but with using a Norwegian Wood structure, it's much more easy to understand. And narrator could be Watanabe in Norwegian Wood, same protagonist. And friend would be Kizuki in Norwegian Wood. And the friend's girlfriend is Naoko in Norwegian heroine. So Mr. Watanabe, Kizuki, and Naoko, it's a almost same a triangle relationship. So in the Norwegian, Watanabe went to Naoko's hospital, and Naoko reminds they're visiting when she was in high school days. So it's a same episode. Actually, Haruki Murakami himself, uh, this is a this is a kind of model of a novel genre like Firefly, but the story itself not directly connected. Haruki Murakami himself explained in the book, but my opinion is it's did related or connected because with connecting or with using the Norwegian story, it's far more easy to understand. And as I mentioned, this one, Blind Widow and Sleeping Woman, has revised when a second edition was published, and there's the slightly which part is changed is it's basically this story itself is not changed. Narrator returned to hometown and with cousin went to hospital on the hilltop and remembering the high school days visiting of girlfriend with friend. It's same, but which part is changed? Slightly small details changed many parts, but basic part is on the ending of a story after a cousin's diagnosis, a cousin returned to the narrator's part, and then they are waiting for bus to return to their home. And during waiting for bus, in the first version, narrator just remembering, just thinking about cousin's ear, cousin's ear, and thinking about cousins could be infiltrated by some fly, and then yes, that's the first one. But in the revised version, a narrator thinking about high school days, this visiting event, instead of thinking about cousin. So in a way, narrators thoughts much more turned on the past, and then the cousin asked him to, "Are you okay?" And the protagonist noticed, where this is the now I'm okay, and he replied to, "I'm okay," and then story is finished. And then first edition, cousin didn't ask the narrator, "Are you okay?" Just there silently waiting for the bus to stop. So that's a huge difference. So this ending could be have a totally different nuance. So that's it. And then, let's not forget about the important point. What's the Blind Widow and the Sleeping Woman? This is a title of poetry that the friend's girlfriend had written during her years of high school days. And in that poetry, Blind Widow is an imaginary creature or imaginary plant, which has some magical power, which make people sleep with their flower. And then some fly brought that flower powder to human's body with entering ear hole, and then planted that flower powder to them, and then that fly will eat a flesh of the body. That kind of story. So this story also featured to Norwegian Ut, I guess. So anyway, that's a poetry of the sleeping woman and the blind widow and sleeping woman. So and then just remembering that story, and then when they visited the hospital, they brought a chocolate as a gift. But when they arrived, chocolate already almost melting away, and then narrator at the ending of the novel just remembering that almost melted chocolate, and then kind of feel bad for the chocolate. That's a different point, right? So how we should read deeply, or how should we enjoy this story? let's think about metaphor of Blind Widow, Sleeping Woman. As I said, Blind Widow, Sleeping Woman is a title of a poetry that a narrator's friend's girlfriend had written during her school days. So in a way, Naoko in Norwegian could write same poetry. So how we should this poet, Blind Widow, Sleeping Woman, Blind Widow could have a flower powder, which has a magical power, which make people sleep and with fly. And a sleeping woman, who is sleeping woman? Of course, there must be that girlfriend herself, but how should we interpret? Actually, I did kind of my explanation of myself, my interpretation. I explain in. Sorry, it's only Japanese, but if you have interest and try to watch in Japanese, please check my Japanese version of this video. めくらやなぎと眠る女読み解き編. So I'll talk about my own interpretation. And the second tips is watching Fort Apache. Fort Apache is a kind of Western movie back in, I don't know, maybe 50 or 60s. And this film featured almost last part, a cousin and the narrator's conversation. When a cousin asked the narrator, did you watch the Fort Apache? And the narrator said that kind of conversation they took. And then, so it could be some meaning of Fort Apache, and some quotation from Fort Apache is very, very, how to say, meaning. It could be some meaning. But unfortunately, I didn't watch it. So maybe sometime in the future I will try. And if you have already watched this movie, Fort Apache, and have some opinion about please give me a feedback. I would appreciate. And finally, let's think about the number 28. So what's the number 28? This is a number of bus. They took a bus to the hospital, and that bus route is a number 28. So maybe you almost skip, just skip the small detail, but number 28 is featured frequently in this novel. So it could have some meaning, 28. And 28, that's 2 and 8, is kind of a, how to say, frequently appeared in Haruki Murakami's literary world. Like, say, Pinball 1973, there is some there is some twins, and the twins have some number, 209 and 208 and 209. So 208 could be without minus 0, it could be 28. So the 2 and 8 could have some meaning. So when you think about from that point of view, you could find some new findings. So that's it. So thank you for watching this video. I hope this video would interest or make you want to read the Haruki Murakami's work. And yeah, I would appreciate you give me a good like and subscribe my channel. Okay, so let's see in the next video. So thank you for watching again. Thank you. Bye.